Chapter 4, Journey of Career Choices. Quote from Michael Jordan, "You have to expect things of yourself before you can do them." I started working when I was a teenager. I did a few babysitting jobs. Then when I turned 16, I began working in a movie theater. It was new to town, and it had great perks like free movies. Typically, I worked 3 to 4 days a week. I would work weekends, since those were the busiest, and looking back, to help me stay on the right track and not get into trouble. I didn't experiment with drugs or do any underage drinking, and I think a majority of that had to do with the friends that I spent the time with. We were all athletes and honor roll students who liked spending time together doing things like going out to eat, watching movies, and going to concerts. One of my dear friends, Andrea, and I met working at the movie theater. She and I were now part of One by One Project volunteer staff. During my senior year of high school, I was able to do a work-study program. I would work 40 hours at a sandwich shop and work on the weekends at the movie theater. After high school graduation and during my first 2 years of college, I worked at the local community bank. I enjoyed it and would dream about owning my own bank. My dad was an entrepreneur, and I was intrigued by it. After working in banking during and after college for a few years, I was introduced to the insurance and sales financial services industry. I was naive and unaware of all the types of firms, so I took my insurance license test and later would take my securities exams. I started noticing that women were the minority in the financial advisor role. The industry was interesting to me, and I learned valuable life lessons along the way. I mean, who doesn't love learning about money? At the time in my life when I was in my early 20s, single, and with little to no savings, it was difficult to make a run at the sales career. I was beginning to get so stressed that my hair was breaking off. I would go to the doctor to figure out what was wrong. I decided life was too short and I wanted to be happy. So after switching to a new company with a salary and benefits, my stress levels went down and my hair was healthy again. In 7 years, I had 2 positions and doubled my income. I was learning and becoming mentored by one of the most well-respected experts in the industry. I enjoyed my job, and I also felt compelled that there was more for me. I was also giving my time to a wonderful charity One by One project, of which we'll learn more about in this book. As I mentioned, the entrepreneurial drive and spirit were in my blood. My dad and uncle owned an automotive repair business. I have many characteristics of my parents, of which one is incredible work ethic. The burning desire to be an entrepreneur has always been part of me. And in July of 2014, when my life and health were changed, I started taking steps toward this dream. I will share more about this health journey later in this book. I was giving my time to the charity on a volunteer basis, but I knew I could make an impact financially as well with my business. I started realizing that if I were working for someone else, that I was building their dream and not mine. It would almost take me 15 years to make $1 million where I was employed at the time. I had made the decision to start my business. I knew that as a motivated entrepreneur, I was passionate and I could do better than that on my own. Even when I worked at the job until I replaced my income, I was fine with working on my business in the pockets of my day. So instead of staring at my phone during my lunch breaks, I would contact people and set appointments with them to share more about my business. In doing so, I found that people needed the solutions that I could provide. My passion and purpose to help others transform their lives was coming to fruition. On my 34th birthday in 2015, I received a call about a job opening to work from home. A couple weeks later, I flew to New York for the biggest interview of my life. I even bought a new suit for the interview. My interview went great, and they even gave me a verbal offer at the end of all the meetings that day. I was ecstatic. I wanted to celebrate, so I walked around Central Park and did a little shopping. I always like to extend my trips in any way possible in order to see friends or have a chance to explore. This was no exception. And I was able to stay longer to spend time with a friend, Stacy, who lived outside the city. It allowed me to spend time with her and her family, including her 2 younger daughters, and reflect on what was really important to me. They were busy working parents, but still made ample time for family. She had a flexible schedule and was able to work from home and spend more time with her daughters. At a recent network marketing industry conference, I remember a young lady saying she didn't get married to only see her husband and kids part-time. I've had the privilege of meeting many families in the network marketing industry who are making this a reality. I am fortunate to be able to help others take action and start achieving their dreams. What a paradigm shift. The next 3 months, I would learn a great lesson in patience as I was waiting for a formal offer for the job opening. I knew if I trusted in God, He would provide me with an answer. Interestingly, What I thought sounded like a perfect job was no longer available when the company shifted in another direction, firing my future boss and the executives I interviewed with. I was disappointed, but I knew that there was a reason that I would be led to another path. I began searching for jobs and thought about what was important to me. I'd worked full-time since I graduated college, often working 2 jobs. I was feeling compelled to write this book and build my business. So I began to explore job opportunities to work part-time so I would have more time to fulfill my dreams. A business mentor, author, and former NFL player, J.J. Burden, says you must seize the opportunity. As I started taking steps forward toward my dream, a part-time opportunity presented itself. As I mentioned, I interviewed and began my new position with a financial services practice at the right time for both of us. Often we don't know the paths of our dreams, but if we just trust the process and have faith, the path will present itself. I worked at the firm for almost a year while building my network marketing business and writing this book. During maternity leave, my priorities and my why began shifting. I read The Purpose-Driven Life and started praying for my business to grow and allow me to stay home with my daughter. After maternity leave, when I was displaced, I realized I had to swim. I had just been given the opportunity to run my mompreneur business on a full-time basis at home while spending time with my daughter. My prayers were answered.